Is he the Antichrist? The new era of Satanism in music. Have you noticed how Satanism is becoming increasingly popular? It's as if we're living in a world where the boundaries of what's acceptable are blurring, and symbols of darkness are becoming trendy. What if I told you that one of music's biggest icons, Eminem, is diving headfirst into this shadowy realm? In his new album, he declares himself nothing less than the Antichrist. It might sound shocking, but there's something deeper here than just a change in style. What could this message be doing to our culture and our minds? It's time to recognize the invisible impact these messages can have on us and seek a solution to protect ourselves from influences that may lead us astray from what truly matters. Let's unravel this plot together and find clarity amid the chaos. Before we start the video, I want to ask you to take a moment to check if you're already subscribed to the channel. I have a series of amazing videos coming up that will clarify all your questions about prophecies. Don't miss the chance to stay updated and deepen your knowledge. Have you ever felt that chill down your spine when something happens that you just can't explain? That's how many of us are feeling right now. Satanism, something that once seemed like just a nightmare or a scary movie, is becoming increasingly popular. And as if that weren't enough to unsettle us, Eminem, one of the biggest rap icons, is claiming to be the Antichrist in his new album. Imagine living in a world where these dark themes are no longer just part of horror stories but are infiltrating our reality. It's not just strange, it's deeply unsettling. Many people are starting to question the safety of our world and what these changes might mean for us and our families. You might be wondering, what's happening to our society? How can we protect ourselves and our loved ones? In today's video, we're going to delve into this disturbing phenomenon and, more importantly, show you how you can understand and confront these changes to protect yourself. Get ready for a revelation that might change the way you see the world. Stay with me and discover the truth behind this mystery. Before we dive into the video, I want to ask you to check if you're already subscribed to the channel. I have a series of amazing videos coming up that will clear up all your questions about prophecies. Don't miss the chance to stay updated and deepen your knowledge. 1. Listening to secular music, an important question. Imagine you're listening to a song that everyone says is really cool. The rhythm is great, and you even feel like dancing, right? But then you start paying attention to the lyrics, and they talk about things that go against what we believe, like fighting or being mean. So, the question arises, is it okay to listen to these songs, even if they're fun? Often, music can make us feel good, but is it drawing us closer to or further from God? That's why this is an important question to consider. 2. The case of Eminem, the Antichrist in the album The Death of Slim Shady. Recently, Eminem, a mythical figure in rap and pop culture icon, released an album that not only marks a new chapter in his career but also redefines the boundaries of provocation and artistic expression, The Death of Slim Shady. This project is not just a musical sequel but an epic of transformation and controversy that dives headfirst into dark and symbolic themes. The album title, The Death of Slim Shady, is a bold statement. Slim Shady, the alter ego Eminem created to explore the depths of anger, disillusionment, and rebellion, seems to be bidding farewell, making way for something new and unknown. But what follows is a journey that takes listeners on a roller coaster of emotions and reflections. Throughout the album, Eminem employs iconography that evokes both apocalyptic tradition and confrontation with demonic figures. Tracks like Lucifer and Antichrist are more than mere provocative titles, they are manifestations of an artistic discourse that explores themes of darkness, redemption, and the nature of identity. The track Antichrist, in particular, is a striking example of this exploration. By calling himself the Antichrist, Eminem delves into a sea of complex and controversial meanings. The figure of the Antichrist, traditionally associated with chaos and destruction, is used here to symbolize the rejection of established norms and the subversion of social order. Rather than just provoking, Eminem positions himself as a catalyst for reflection and change, challenging his listeners to confront their own beliefs and biases. To understand the impact of these choices, it is essential to consider Eminem's trajectory and the cultural context in which he operates. Eminem has always been an artist who challenges conventions and explores the limits of language and expression. By using references like the Antichrist, he pushes the boundaries of what is considered acceptable in music and art, provoking a re-evaluation of the figures and symbols we use to describe our reality. Additionally, the album can be seen as an allegory for Eminem's internal struggle with his own identity and the fame that surrounds him. The death of Slim Shady represents not only the end of a persona but also the birth of a new form of artistic expression. The use of apocalyptic references may symbolize the need to destroy the old to make way for the new, a metaphor for the constant reinvention and evolution that defines Eminem's life and career. But why the Antichrist? Eminem's choice to use this figure can be seen as a way to explore and challenge dominant narratives. In a world saturated with images and symbols, the Antichrist becomes a powerful tool to question and destabilize the established order. Eminem is not merely playing with images to shock, he is using these references to create a work that forces his listeners to confront the uncomfortable and question their own perceptions. The Death of Slim Shady is more than an album, it is a deep reflection on the role of art in society and the impact of words and symbols. Eminem, with his unique ability to provoke and challenge, offers a penetrating view of his own struggles and the human condition. The album not only entertains but also provokes introspection about the forces that shape our lives and identities. As the album unfolds, listeners are taken on a journey of transformation and redemption, confronting the complexity of emotions and ideas Eminem explores. The Death of Slim Shady is a piece of art that challenges and inspires, revealing the depths of an artist who continues to reinvent and redefine his legacy. So, have you heard the song Antichrist? Comment here about which song by Eminem or any other artist references occultism. I'll clarify any questions you have in the comments.
The Antichrist is already among us. Are you prepared for what comes next? Many people are worried about what will happen in the apocalypse, but few truly understand the danger that the Antichrist represents. Prophecies are being fulfilled faster than we imagined, and chaos might be much closer than you think. Are you ready to face it? If you feel lost or afraid of what the future holds, now is the time to seek clarity. My ebook reveals everything you need to know about biblical prophecies and the role of the Antichrist in the end times. It's not just a read, it's a spiritual and mental survival guide for what's to come. Imagine seeing the world around you change while you are prepared, aware, and equipped with the right tools to avoid being deceived. The end may be inevitable, but how you respond to it is entirely up to you. Also, I want to remind you that I've left an ebook for you to download, talking exactly about this. Go to the link in the description and download yours now. I'll keep it available for 24 hours. The ebook link is in the comments. Don't wait until it's too late. Now is your chance to understand what's happening and act before the worst happens.
3. Glorification of immoral behavior. It was a warm summer night, and in a small neighborhood, the music from a new rap album echoed through the streets. 16-year-old Jason was sitting on the porch, headphones in place, completely immersed in the lyrics that narrated a life of excess and violence. The intense beats and bold verses made him feel as if he were living a life that was, in reality, just a musical fantasy. Jason grew up in an environment where challenges were many and options seemed limited. Rap and hip-hop were his escapes, his ways of connecting with something greater than his immediate reality. But as he delved deeper into the music, he began to feel that the behaviors described, drug use, violence, disrespect, were more than mere stories. They were presented with an aura of glamorous rebellion, as if they were the key to a type of success and respect that Jason somehow desired to achieve. As Jason allowed himself to be swept away by the rhythms and lyrics, something began to change. He started to imitate these behaviors in his daily life. Drug use, which had once seemed distant and dangerous, began to appear as a way to escape the problems he faced. Fights and disrespect, often seen as signs of bravery in the songs, began to find a place in his daily interactions. The contrast between Jason's reality and the glorified life in the songs began to become more evident. What seemed like musical escapism was turning into a real influence on his life. He found a reflection of the narrative he was hearing, which led him to question his own morality and the values he once considered important. The songs had transformed immoral behaviors into symbols of status, and what was once seen as wrong began to seem acceptable. Jason's situation is a reflection of a broader issue. In many neighborhoods and communities, young people like him are exposed to a constant glamorization of harmful behaviors. Songs that celebrate violence, drugs, and disrespect are not just entertainment, they shape perception and often action. Popular music can create an illusion of normalcy and even aspiration toward behaviors that are, in reality, destructive and dangerous. The Bible and other ethical teachings promote values of respect, kindness, and integrity. They teach the importance of avoiding behaviors that could harm oneself and others. But when these messages are overshadowed by musical representations that celebrate transgression, there is a disturbing disconnect between what is morally right and what is promoted as glamorous. Jason's case serves as a powerful reminder of the impact music can have on shaping values and behaviors. By glorifying immoral behaviors, these songs not only reflect a part of society but also reinforce and perpetuate it. Instead of promoting personal growth and respect, they often reinforce cycles of disrespect and self-destruction. Reflecting on these messages and recognizing their influence is essential. Music, as a form of artistic expression, also plays a role in shaping social and personal realities. Recognizing the difference between what is presented and what is truly valuable can be the first step toward transforming music's influence into a positive force, supporting values of respect and integrity rather than glorifying harmful behaviors. 4. The Bible encourages us to be selective. Let's think about the importance of making healthy choices in our diet. Imagine you are faced with two dishes. One is a nutrient-rich meal, prepared with fresh and healthy ingredients, full of vibrant colors and appetizing smells. The other is a mix of visibly deteriorated foods, with evident signs of contamination and an unpleasant odor. Your decision is clear: you would choose the healthy dish, thus preserving your physical health and well-being. This analogy can be applied with equal rigor to what we choose to consume for our mind and spirit. Philippians 4 verse 8 offers powerful guidance for our daily lives. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. This verse not only guides us to keep our thoughts on a high level but also emphasizes the need for careful filtering of the influences we allow into our lives. Music, as a form of artistic and cultural expression, has a profound impact on our mind and emotions. Each lyric, melody, and rhythm can act as food for our soul. If you encounter music that carries messages of despair, violence, or negativity, these messages can, over time, affect your perception of reality, your emotions, and even your actions. This happens because the human mind is highly receptive to stimuli, and the content we engage with can shape our beliefs and behaviors. Just as you avoid foods that could harm your physical health, it is equally vital to be selective with what you consume in terms of media and entertainment. Choosing music that conveys positive, constructive messages and promotes values like peace, love, and integrity not only enriches your emotional experience but also strengthens your spiritual and mental well-being. Moreover, selectivity in musical choices also reflects a commitment to self-care and self-awareness. By opting for content that uplifts and inspires, you are investing in your own mental and spiritual health, creating an internal environment that is more conducive to peace and harmony. In contrast, constantly consuming harmful content can create an internal environment of discomfort and disharmony. Therefore, by applying the same meticulousness you use to choose your food to selecting music and other stimuli, you are cultivating a healthy and positive environment for your mind and spirit. Just as the body thrives on a nutritious diet, the mind and spirit thrive on consuming content that promotes good, truth, and virtue. Let's move on to the next topic, but before we do, I noticed that you haven't liked this video yet. It's crucial for YouTube to continue promoting our content so we can keep helping you. So, please take a moment to like the video, it's free. Thanks. Now, let's continue. 5. The power of music in behavioral transformation. Imagine a boy named Joao. He was quiet and always afraid of getting into trouble. But one day, he started listening to heavy music that talked about violence and limitless courage. Every time he put on his headphones, he felt a strange strength that made him forget his fear and take risks in dangerous situations. Music has that power, it can change how we feel and even how we act. Just as Joao became bolder with those songs, others can also be influenced, for better or for worse, depending on what they listen to. 6. The music that draws you closer to or further from God. Let's reflect on the life of Maria, a person who sought a deeper connection with God. Maria was devout, attended church regularly, dedicated time to reading the Bible, and strived to live a life according to Christian principles. She ardently desired to feel God's presence in every aspect of her life and maintain a strong relationship with Him. However, Maria had a habit that seemed harmless. During her daily commute to work, she would listen to music that talked about extravagant parties, betrayals, and questionable behaviors. These songs, filled with messages that exalted excesses and values contrary to those she cherished, gradually began to infiltrate her thoughts and emotions. Without her realizing it, these songs started to shape her worldview and influence her actions. Over time, Maria began to notice subtle changes in her behavior and attitudes. The priorities that had once defined her life, such as the desire to live with integrity and seek a closer relationship with God, started to dissipate. She began to drift away from the spiritual practices she had once considered fundamental, and her connection with God seemed to weaken. This example illustrates an important truth about the impact of music on our spiritual life. The Bible guides us in Philippians 4 verse 8 to focus on everything that is pure, good, and true. Music, as a form of art and expression, has immense power to shape our thoughts and emotions. The messages and themes of the music we listen to can, in subtle ways, influence our way of thinking and acting. The music we choose to listen to can reflect our values and beliefs or serve as a means of influence that leads us away from them. When music contains messages that are contrary to the principles we strive to follow, it can start to weaken our values and distance us from our spiritual goals. This happens because music not only entertains but can also serve as a vehicle for ideas and behaviors that we may internalize, often without realizing it. On the other hand, choosing music that reflects the values we want to cultivate, that inspires us, and that draws us closer to God can be a powerful way to strengthen our spirituality. Music that exalts goodness, peace, gratitude, and love can serve as constant reminders of the principles we strive to live by and help us stay focused on our spiritual journey. Therefore, the music we choose to listen to plays a significant role in how we feel and how we live out our faith. Just as Maria experienced spiritual distancing by listening to music that contradicted her values, we can also experience a deeper closeness to God by selecting music that resonates with our principles and inspires us to live according to them. Consciously choosing music is an important step to ensure that what we absorb musically contributes to our spirituality and does not lead us away from our spiritual goals. 7. Songs that make you sing without thinking. Often, we find ourselves immersed in songs whose melody and rhythm are so captivating that they make us sing along repeatedly, almost without thinking. It's common for the lyrics of certain songs to become part of our daily repertoire as we repeat the choruses and get carried away by the engaging beats. However, this constant repetition can lead to an unconscious absorption of the lyrical content. Sometimes, the ease with which we memorize and sing the lyrics causes us to overlook a critical analysis of what we are actually saying. A song may have such a catchy chorus that the impact of the words can go unnoticed. This phenomenon is especially relevant when the lyrics contain messages or themes that contradict our personal values or ethical principles. For example, a popular song might have a cheerful melody and a contagious rhythm, but if its lyrics talk about hatred, betrayal, or harmful behaviors, these messages can be unconsciously internalized. The process of singing these words repeatedly can inadvertently reinforce ideas or attitudes that are not aligned with our beliefs and values. This phenomenon highlights the importance of paying attention to the content of the lyrics of the songs we choose to listen to. Music is not just a form of entertainment, it also serves as a vehicle for conveying ideas and values. The lyrics we frequently repeat have the potential to influence our thinking and behavior, even if we do not immediately realize it. Therefore, it is essential to examine the lyrics of songs and reflect on the messages they convey. By being conscious of the content of the music we listen to, we can avoid internalizing ideas that may be harmful and ensure that our musical choices are in harmony with our values and principles. The practice of listening attentively and reflecting on lyrics can help maintain our exposure to positive and constructive influences, promoting a more beneficial impact on our lives. 8. Music as a tool for upliftment or destruction. Music can be a powerful force in our lives. It can help us feel inspired and closer to God, or it can have the opposite effect and draw us away from good things. What we listen to can shape our thoughts and emotions, so it's crucial to choose music that promotes positive values and aligns with our spiritual principles. If music carries a negative message or contradicts our values, it can influence our lives in a harmful way. 9. Occult symbols and malevolent influence. Nowadays, it's common to see occult symbols in music videos and shows, such as pentagrams and the all-seeing eye. These symbols, far from being mere aesthetic choices, are often part of an intentional effort to normalize occultism and promote dark spiritual practices. The increasing inclusion of these elements in the media reflects a deliberate attempt to influence culture and people's behaviors. Occult symbols have a significant impact, as they can lead to gradual familiarity and acceptance of ideas associated with occultism. When presented routinely and attractively, these symbols can make practices and concepts that were once seen as strange or disturbing become more acceptable or normalized in society. This influence can have a negative effect, especially if people are not critical or aware of the meaning behind these symbols. Constant exposure to occult themes can desensitize the audience and potentially encourage the adoption of spiritual practices that are contrary to established ethical or religious principles. Therefore, it is crucial to maintain a critical stance toward the content we consume, especially when it involves symbols and themes associated with occultism. Being aware of the intentions behind the presence of these elements in the media can help prevent the internalization of ideas and practices that do not align with our values and beliefs. 10. Narcissism and spiritual rebellion. Let's examine the transformation that can occur when a person is exposed to music that promotes narcissism and selfishness. Consider the situation of Carla, a young woman who began listening to a song with lyrics that celebrated selfishness and self-exaltation. The messages in the song were clear: the most important thing was to be the center of attention, to seek personal gratification at all costs, and to prioritize one's own desires over those of others. As Carla listened to these songs regularly, the influence of the lyrics began to shape her beliefs and behaviors. The impact was noticeable in various areas of her life. She started to distance herself from practices and behaviors she once valued, such as helping others and participating in community activities. Carla's focus shifted to her own needs and desires, and she began to prioritize her own pleasure and success at the expense of others' interests. This example highlights how music can be a powerful agent of influence. The lyrics and messages we frequently repeat can become internalized, shaping our way of thinking and acting. When music glorifies selfishness and self-sufficiency, these ideas can infiltrate our mindset, subtly yet significantly influencing our priorities and behaviors. Music acts not only as a form of entertainment but also as a vehicle for values and messages that can have a profound impact on our behavior and spirituality. When songs promote a worldview centered on self, they can conflict with fundamental spiritual principles, such as biblical teachings on humility and love for others. The Bible teaches us to live altruistically, to put others first, and to cultivate an attitude of service and compassion. The effect of music that exalts narcissism can be particularly detrimental when contrasted with these values. The constant promotion of a self-centered worldview can divert our attention from principles of humility and mutual care, weakening our commitment to spiritual practices that foster connection with others and a greater purpose. Additionally, ongoing exposure to egocentric messages can create a culture of individualism and competition, where personal success is valued above collective well-being. This can lead to an environment where relationships become less meaningful and where solidarity and empathy are undermined. In the long run, this type of influence can have a negative impact not only on our spiritual life but also on our social interactions and sense of community. To mitigate these effects, it is essential to adopt a critical approach to what we consume. Evaluating the messages and themes of songs and considering how they align with our values and principles is an important step. Choosing music that promotes positive values, such as kindness, solidarity, and constructive reflection, can help ensure that our exposure to music contributes beneficially to our personal and spiritual growth. In summary, music is a powerful force that can profoundly influence our way of thinking and acting. Being aware of the messages we absorb and choosing content that resonates with our spiritual and ethical principles is crucial for maintaining behavior aligned with values of humility and love for others and for promoting a balanced and spiritually rich life. Hey, before we dive into tips on how to protect yourself from Satanism in music, tell me something. Have you ever been in a situation where music influenced you negatively? Like, a song that made you feel bad or stirred up negative emotions? Drop a comment. I'm here to help and hear what you have to say. Alright, now let's move on to the precautions. Satanism in music, how to protect yourself. So, what should you do? Listen carefully, check if the lyrics are something you consider right or wrong. If they talk about things you believe shouldn't be celebrated, it might be better to choose another song. Choose positive music. Look for music that makes you feel good and has messages you believe are positive. And what should you avoid? Don't ignore the lyrics, don't let the fun of the music make you forget what the lyrics are actually saying. Don't accept everything without thinking, just because everyone is listening to it doesn't mean you should too. Understand the context. Sometimes, what the artist is trying to do is provoke a reaction or make you think about something. Try to understand the message behind the lyrics. Think critically, see what the artist is trying to communicate and how it aligns with your own values. Don't let yourself be influenced. Just because a song is popular doesn't mean you should follow everything it says. Don't assume everything is true. Sometimes, music is just a form of art and shouldn't be taken literally. Be critical, ask yourself if what the music is glorifying is actually good or bad. Choose positive examples. Find songs that showcase good and inspiring behaviors. Don't copy behaviors, don't imitate what you see or hear if it's something negative. Remember that music can influence your actions, so choose what is positive. Choose positive music, look for songs that promote good things and make you feel good. Be selective, only listen to music that aligns with what you believe is correct and positive. Don't listen to negative music. Avoid songs that make you feel bad or talk about things you disagree with. Choose inspirational music, listen to songs that make you feel good and help you become a better person. Pay attention to how you feel, see if the music is influencing you in a positive way. Don't listen to music that makes you feel bad, avoid songs that make you feel sad or act inappropriately. Choose music that draws you closer to God, find songs that inspire you and help keep your faith strong. Reflect on the impact of music, consider how the music affects your spiritual life. Don't listen to music that takes you away from your values, avoid songs that talk about things not in line with what you believe. Pay attention to the lyrics, make sure the songs you sing have positive and good messages. Analyze what you're singing, reflect on what the lyrics are really saying. Don't sing without thinking, don't let the melody make you forget what the words are saying. Don't accept everything without checking, just because the music is catchy doesn't mean the lyrics are good. Choose music that uplifts, find songs that make you feel good and help you grow as a person. Use music for good, let music inspire and positively motivate you. Don't listen to music that destroys, avoid music that brings negative thoughts or feelings. Don't allow music to have a negative influence, be careful with what you listen to so it doesn't affect your life in a bad way. Be critical, ask yourself why these symbols are there and what they really mean. Choose conscious content, prefer music and videos that don't use symbols that may have negative meanings. Don't ignore symbols, don't be indifferent to symbols that might have a negative impact. Don't accept everything without thinking, be attentive to what is being promoted in music and media. Thanks for watching until now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next content. See you in the next video.